Hi there, I'm Lisa Taylor, and this is Ideas on Truth. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching on the replay, put a hashtag replay and your location down in the comments. It's always fun to know where everyone's coming from. I've been thinking a lot about progress recently, and there's a line in Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy where she says, progress is the law of God, whose law demands of us only what we can certainly fulfill. So I love the idea that progress is a law. It's not just maybe, or no, I don't think so this time. It's a law. Progress is a law. So I think for us, at least for me, the challenge is to trust that and to always take the next right step, to always be willing to, even if I don't understand where it's leading, always be willing, hi Frederica, always be willing to just take that next step, the next highest sense of right that you feel, take that next step and know that progress is the law. And I was sort of dwelling on this idea, and the idea came to me about trees. You know, trees, if we look at a tree one day and the branches grow to a certain point and they have little buds on the ends, and the next day they have a bunch of leaves that come out, the next day we wouldn't expect to see buds again. We wouldn't expect to see the branches be shorter. That sounds kind of ludicrous. But the same law that applies in the expression of the growth in trees and plants and nature is the same law that applies to us in the growth and progress in our lives. So it would be ludicrous for us to think that when we make progress, when our branches grow, that the next day that progress would be less, or somehow it would be diminished. There would be some retrograde step. So I just love this idea. There's a lot of trust involved. There's a lot of tending the garden. So, you know, if you put a seed in a pot and you see a bunch of dirt sitting there, you don't just ignore the pot. You tend to the pot of dirt that has the seed in it. You put it in the sunshine, you add a little water, you tend to it. You make sure that the atmosphere around that seed is conducive to growth and conducive to progress. Nothing seems to change. We stare at the surface of the dirt for a long time before the little sprout comes through. And even though to our human sense there is no progress, underneath the soil, there's all this progress going on and all of this preparation in the seed for the next spurt of growth. That's progress. Sometimes we don't see it with our eyes. Sometimes we don't see it with our 5 physical senses, but we can trust that it's going on. And with a seed and with nature and plants and growth and all of that, we have no doubt the seed is going to grow into whatever it is the seed is for. We don't sit there and ruminate over it and wonder, is that seed going to go? We don't throw out the pot with the seed in it because there's nothing coming through the surface of the soil in a day. We know that it takes a bit of time. So why are we not being that patient with ourselves? Why are we not being that patient when we don't see progress right away in our own lives? Why don't we just tend to the soil? Why don't we just create the atmosphere that is going to produce the progress and the growth? Put ourselves in the sunshine, the care and feeding and watering of ourselves, metaphorically speaking. But I don't know, I just really like that idea that progress is a law and we can depend on that law. We can count on that law. It's a guarantee to us that if we take that next step, progress is assured. The rest of that quote or the part of that sentence goes on and it says, progress is a law of God, whose law demands of us only what we can certainly fulfill. So that's actually really good to know. It's good to know that that law that guarantees us progress, it's only demanding of us what we can certainly fulfill. It's not demanding of us something beyond our reach. It's not demanding of us anything that we don't know how to do or know how to find out something to do. But we can trust that we're being guided every step of the way. I can share a little story with you. Recently, I was doing some physical activity that I'm not used to doing. And I really strained my back. And I've never done that before, so it gave me a lot of compassion for people who have back issues, I must say. And I was coming up on a time where I had to do a lot of schlepping and lifting and, loading, a big family project that was coming up. And I was very concerned that I wasn't going to be able to lift anything. So I really was thinking about this idea of progress, that progress is a law of God. And I know the temptation is to think of progress in terms of what's going on physically and humanly, but the place that progress occurs is in our thinking. And then that's expressed humanly. But it starts with thought. So I knew that I needed to progress in my thought about how I was feeling, what I was feeling, that matter was running me around instead of me claiming superiority and dominion over the material senses. And there was a shift, there was a moment where there was a complete shift in my thought. And I got a glimpse of really depending on that law of progress and just knowing that every step of progress is a step more spiritual. And as my thought became more and more spiritually focused, I knew there had to be progress expressed. And as it turns out, I had a complete healing and was able to do a lot of lifting and heavy moving and different things at the time that I needed to, very shortly after this had occurred. So I was really grateful for that. Anyway, progress is the law of God, whose law demands of us only what we can certainly fulfill. So tend to your gardens and know that your seeds are growing, even if you only see dirt. It's growing. There's progress going on. We can trust. And eventually we see the evidence of the progress. And I'm really grateful for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is a short one tonight because I'm about to run out of battery. I actually can't see anything on my screen because I have a big thing that says low battery and my phone's about to die. So here's to you guys. Thanks for watching. So much love to you, and thank you for being such faithful viewers from all over the world. I really, really appreciate you. So lots of love, and we'll see you next time. Bye.